I want to have a data set called EMP, and I want to have a label for the data set. And the label I want to have it as an employee salary report. And it should create this data. We should create this data set from demo1 text file. And then I'm going to specify what are the variables I want to have. Name of the variable, type of the variable, length of the variable, and the format of the variable. And even I want to have label also. The first variable I want to have is EMP ID, and I want to have it as a numerical variable, and I want to have a length 8, and I want to have, like this one, and I want to have it as an employee ID. The second variable I want to have name, character variable. I want to have length 7. I want to have it as an employee name. The third variable I want to have is numerical 8, and I want to have a Roman letters, and I want to have it as an employee is. Then the sex variable. I want to have it as a character variable. I want to have length 6. I want to have it as an it will not require any format, so I want to have it as an employee gender. Then salary variable, numerical, length 8. I want to have dollar symbol. I want to have 2 decimals. And then I want to have employee income. Then I want to have a LOC. It is a character variable. I want to have a length 3. And I want to have a label employee location or employee address. So this is the specification I'm providing you. Please create a data set according to the specification sheet. Now create a data set according to this specification sheet. I'm telling you, I have a data on my desktop in SAS folder. In the SAS folder, I have one more, I have SAS folder. In the SAS folder, I have SAS data folder. In that, I have demo1 text file. This is the text file I have. Can you tell me how to write a program to create a data set? And the data set should have this specification. Tell me the program. According to that specification, create a data set.
Yeah.
What is the data set they want to have?
EMP.
Demo.
EMP.
Demo.
So they want to have a label.
Sorry.
What is the label they want to have? Label is equal to
Employee salary.
employee salary report. So I'm copying this one and I'm going to paste in the label option here. Then semicolon. In file, you should write the path of the text file. And here I have that one. Shift right click. Copy as path. Go to the program and paste the path. Then write the input statement. What are the variables I want to have? EMPID, name, age,
Age,
sex, salary,
salary,
location, and
location,
and which variable they want to have a character variables?
name
Name is a
character,
character variable.
name and
So
location,
dollar symbol.
name,
Sex is a character variable. Dollar
and
symbol.
location.
And the location is a character variable. Dollar symbol. Then can you see? For the name they want to have length 7. For the sex they want to have length 6. For the location they want to have a length 3. How to apply the length now? How to apply the length?
After the variable name.
So we can do in two different ways. We can do it in two different ways. We can apply the length in the input statement after the each variable, or otherwise, in this scenario, you can write the length statement before the input statement. Right? Now I'll go with the length statement. You should always write the length statement before the input only. Now I am writing the length. What is the first variable? Name variable, character variable, dollar symbol. How much length you want to have?
7. 7 dot.
Dot is not mandatory. If you want, you can keep it. Then the sex variable. It is a character variable, dollar symbol. How much length you want to have?
6.
Dot. And the third variable, location. It is a character variable. How much length you want to have?
3 dot.
I'm writing the 3 dot. So I have given the labels for all the 3 variables. And then I want to apply the format. For which variable you should apply the format?
EMPID.
EMPID.
For age and
Very
salary.
good. Can we apply the format in the input statement?
No.
No. We can apply only in format. If you want to apply a format, you have to write a separate statement. Okay. Okay. EMPID. What is the format they want to have? They want to have it 3 digits.
Yeah.
So very good. No. For EMPID, they want to have total 3 digits. No.
Yes.
Then what should I write? Z 3 dot. Very good. And then what is the format they want to have for age variable? Common dot. And what is the format they want to for the salary variable?
Dollar.
So you should count everything together. 1,
8.2.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay.
Dollar.
10 dot.
Dollar 10.2. Shivapriya. Dollar 10.2 semicolon. What we need to do apart from this?
12.2, sir.
No. 10 dot is enough, no? 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.2. Do you want to execute the program, or we need to do anything apart from this?
Rename
We need to
label.
put labels.
What should I rename this, sir?
I mean label, sir.
I should apply the label. Now, if you want to apply the label, what is the statement you should write?
Label.
Label. Nobody is reacting properly. Nobody is practicing.
Label
Full classes,
EMPID is equal to
Label. The first value EMPID is equal to, what is the label they want to have?
employee.
Employee. Now, in the same statement, the second variable name is equal to employee name. The third variable is age is equal to, they want to have employee age. Then sex is equal to, they want to have employee gender. And the salary, they want to have a label. What is the label they want to have, by the way? Employee income. So now I'm writing the next variable, sal is equal to, now I'm writing employee income. And finally, LOC is equal to employee address. And finally, close the semicolon. So I'm selecting this entire program. I'm executing this program. Now there is a small problem This is the order of the variable they want to have. Now, are we going to get the same order?
Retain
Retain.
statement.
Retain.
You won't get it until unless you write the return statement. Now I'm writing the return statement. I want to have EMPID. Then I want to have, EMPID. Then I want to have a name, age, sex, salary, location, semicolon. Now select the entire program and execute the program. Now go to libraries, go to work library, and here we have EMP dataset. Now, unfortunately, I cannot see the labels. If you want to see the labels in the first preference, what you should do?
Right click on the variable.
You have to click on view.
Very good. You should go to the view. You should go to view and you should click on column labels. Now, if we have a labels, now we can see the labels. Now, can you see? We have applied the labels for all the 6 variables. And we have a total width 3 here. And if I open the employee name, the length of the variable is 7. And then the next variable that we have is, employee age. Can you see we have a Roman letters? So that means format has been applied. Employee gender. And can you see the length of the variable is 6? That means we applied length. Income. Yes, we applied a format called $10.2. And we applied the label. That's good. Now, if I go to that address, we have applied the label employee address and we have applied the length 3 and everything looks good. And now you strongly believe that you have created this data set according to the specification sheet they provided to you. Understand this one. So in the real time, whenever they assign any work, how they are going to assign the work? They are going to provide you the data and they are going to provide you these rules. And this is called specification sheet. What you call it as we call it as a specification sheet. They're going to provide you this specification sheet in a form of an Excel sheet. Now you will write the program according to the specification sheet only. You won't write one extra or one lower than what they are requiring, what they are expecting from you. Now you should always write the program. You should not write anything on your own. You should write everything according to the specification only. Now we are thinking that you're 100% correct. Now, and you will submit this data set. And even you will submit the code. And the first thing that you're going to do, you're going to submit your log window also. First, you submit you will submit your log window. If your log window doesn't have any errors, warnings, and issues, then they will go to your data set. And then what they will do, they're going to audit your data set. They're going to validate your data set. How they're going to validate? When you write an exam, so whatever the answer that you have given, you believe that is 100% correct. Are they going to give 100 marks for your exam? No. They're going to validate it, right? There's going to be verification. There's going to be validation. Now, there's going to be some, validator. The validator is going to validate your answer sheet. And now, if your answer is 100% correct, she is going to give the full mark. In the same way, in the real time, when you write a code, when you create a data set, when you submit the data set, they won't accept blindly your data set. They're going to check, they're going to validate, and they're going to verify. Now, how they're going to verify? Here we have a specification. Now I want to check whether this employee ID according to the specification or not. If you want to check specification, if you want to check what I should do, if you want to see the data type, if you want to see the length of the variable, if you want to see the format, if you want to see the label, where we can see that one?
Variable attribute.
Open the data set. Open the data set. Now click on that variable, double click on the variable. Now we are going to have a window like this one. And this is called column attributes. Where we can find these column attributes in the backend? In the backend, we can find this column attributes in the descriptor area. Isn't it? I told you, remember, in the backend process, we are going to have a compilation phase. In the compilation phase, we are going to have input buffer, then the descriptor area, and then we are going to have a PDB.
ADV.
In the descriptor area, I told you we are going to have all the available information, and that is called metadata. Metadata is nothing but data about data. Now, where we can find. But if you want to check every time what you should do, you should double click on the variable. Then it will open that column attributes window. Then you need to check. Just imagine you have a data set and the data set contains 200 variables. When the data set contains 200 variables, either validator is going to check each and every variable, is going to open each and every variable, and is going to check whether this, whatever the attribute that you have given, and is it going to manually check that one? No. Then how to do this one? In the base as to get all the attributes, all the descriptor information in one place, we have a procedure, and that procedure is called proc contents.
Content.
What is the procedure that we have? We have a proc contents. Sorry. Proc contents is a procedure that will help to look into the metadata, to see the metadata, and to see the descriptor information. Whatever the descriptor area that we have, whatever the information that we have in the descriptor area, to see that information, now we use a procedure called proc contents. And this is a very, very important procedure to document the metadata. So మీరు ఏదైతే ప్రోగ్రామ్ రాసి క్రియేట్ చేశారో, we need to have a documentation. Understand this one? To have the documentation, we use a procedure called proc contents. So by default, what it can do, proc contents procedure gives contents information about all the variables of a data set. All the variables of a data set. And we use this procedure for the documentation purpose. For documentation purpose. How to use this procedure? The basic procedure that we can do is the simplest procedure that we can write is proc contents semicolon run. If I execute this simple procedure, what will happen? It is going to print the contents information of the most recently created data set of default library. What is the default library that we have? What is the default library?
Work
What is
library.
the default library? Okay, work library. So what is the recently created data set that we have in the work library? Now, if I select the program and execute the program for EMP data set, in the output window, it will generate all the contents information. And you will get this information in the output window, and as well as you will also get this information in the result viewer also. Now, by default, you will get 3 tables like this one. The first one is called, data set summary. What information that you can see in the data set summary? The first one is the data set name, which is work.emp. That means in the work library, we have created EMP data set. And what type of SAS file it is? It is a data set. And what is the engine that we use? We are using SAS 9.4, which means it is engine 9. When we have created, just now at 7:21:36, I created this one. So creation date and modification date both are same. After the creation, I didn't modify my data set, so both dates are same. We haven't used any protection, and we do not have any data set type. And then we are going to have a label, employee salary report. So this is a data set label, and this data set will help us to label the data set in the proc contents procedure. And a data representation, I'm using Windows 64-bit. And encoding for Windows 64, but this is in a default one, that is in a W Latin Western for Windows. And then we have observations. How many observations we have in this data set? 23 observations. Variables is 6 variables. Indexes, I haven't created any indexes, so index is 0. Observation length by default, it is 40. We haven't deleted any observation, so deleted observation 0. We haven't compressed no, and we haven't sorted this data set. Sorted is equal to no. And this is called overall dataset summary. Once you have done with the dataset summary, then the next thing that we are going to have engine or host dependent information. What we can find here, we can find some important information like the dataset page size. So what by default, what is the page size of a dataset, which is 65,536 bytes. And number of dataset pages, this is a 23 observations. That is a very small one. So we require only one page. So since we have only one page, that is going to be the first page, first dataset page. And how many observations we can keep in one page, maximum observation per page, we can keep, 1632 observations. But how many observations we have in the data set? We have 23. So we can keep all the 23 in the first page itself. So that's why we have only one page. So total మొత్తం 1632 observations పెట్టొచ్చు, కానీ మన data set ఎన్ని observations ఉన్నాయండి? Only 23. So you can keep all the 23 in only one page. That's why we have only one page. Number of dataset repairs, we haven't done any repair on the dataset, so 0. EOC, extended OBS counter is equal to yes. By default, we are going to have EOC is equal to yes. And then file name. This is the dataset name, which is emp.sas7b. Now, in the real time, you'll get a question like this one. When you save a dataset in the work library, what is the location of that dataset? If you save any dataset in our specific user-defined library, where you can find the dataset? What is the physical location of the dataset? మీరు ఏదైనా ఒక డేటాసెట్ ని యూజర్ డిఫైన్ లైబ్రరీలో సేవ్ చేశారనుకోండి, ఆ డేటాసెట్ లొకేషన్ ఎక్కడ ఉంటుందండి? ఫర్ విచ్ ఎవర్ ఫోల్డర్ యూ హ్యావ్ అసైన్ దట్ లైబ్రరీ, సో దట్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్, ద ఫోల్డర్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు ద ఫిజికల్ లొకేషన్. ఇన్ ద సేమ్ వే, if you save a dataset in the work library, what is the location of the dataset? I told you we install SAS software in a C drive, all the programming languages. So the work library is going to get created in the C drive in some temporary folders. So can you see here? And here in the C drive, users, app data, SAS temporary files, there it created a temporary library, a folder. In that folder, emp.sas7b data has been saved. In the interview, they're going to ask you, what is the location of a work library? Can you tell me where this data set will be get saved in our system? This will be get saved in this location. If you want to know that one, you should write the proc contents procedure so that you can find the location of a data set which has been saved in the work library. And this data set will be present up to you close the session. Once you close the session, the data sets which are present in the work library will be get deleted because, can you see, it is a SAS temporary files. Remember, I told you, if you save any data set in the work library, that is going to last for only for that session. If you close the session, all the data sets of the work library will be get deleted. Understand this one? Now, release created, yes, I'm using SAS 9.4. So the release created is 9.04. And I'm using this one for Windows 64-bit home edition, Windows 10. Now we have a 64-bit home edition, Windows 10. And owner name, here this is my name. And we have a file size, and then 128 KB. And then we have a file size in bytes. So this is like, in bytes. Then the most important thing is the third table. Can you see what we have here? Alphabetical list of variables. And this is the most important table. Now you can see whatever the variable that you created, a variable name, and we have a data type. So you can see whether it's a numerical or a character variable. And then we have a length, then we have a format, and then we have a label. This is very, very important. Now they are going to look into this table, and based on that, they will understand whether you have created this data set according to their requirement, according to the specification sheet. And they are going to compare the data type of this here and the specification. And then the length, they compare the length. Then they compare the format, and they look into the label. This is what proc contents procedure can do. So proc contents gives a descriptor information for all the variables that are present in a data set. And we use this procedure to document the metadata. Understand this one? What is the simplest procedure that we can do? We can add the proc contents run. But if I add the proc contents run, then which data sets attributes information that you can see? Data sets recently created set of which library?
Work library.
But I want to have a contents information for a specific data set, not for most recently created. If you want to find the contents information for a specific data set, now we are going to write an option called data is equal to. So now I'm writing proc contents data is equal to, I want to see the contents information of SAS help.class. So to get information for a specific data set, what is the option that you write? Data is equal to data set name. Now data is equal to option specifies a data set name for which you want to have contents information. Now specifically, you will get the contents information for class data set of SAS help library. Now say, if I select the program and execute the program, now this is how we are going to have contents information. Can you see? Again, I'm going to get here. I'm going to get 4 tables. So one is for data set summary, engine or host dependent information, and then we have alphabetical list of variables and attributes. You know that we have 5 variables. And by the way, you will get only alphabetical list. Now, since this data set has been sorted, you'll get a 4th table also, which shows that sorting information. Understand this one. So if you want to see contents information of any specific data set, you should write the data is equal to the data set. Now I want to see the contents information for SAS help.hot. ఇప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తాను చూడండి, ఏం రాయాలండి ఇప్పుడు? proc contents data is equal to SAS help.hot.
Hot.
You will get the contents information only for hot data set. But if I execute this program, where I'm getting this information by default?
Results window.
We are getting this information in the output window or result viewer. If you have this information output window or result viewer, now you only can see it. But if you want to validate where we should have this information, we also into a data set. Now, if you want to save the contents information to a data set, you know what you should do? Now you should write one more option called out is equal to. Is equal to data set name. Now I'm writing like this one. Proc contents data is equal to work.emp. But if I execute this program, where I will get this information? I will get this information in the output window or result viewer window. But I want to have this information in a data set. Then what should I write now? Now I'm going to write a new option called out is equal to a data set name. Now, if I execute this program, what will happen? Now I will have the contents information into a data set also. Now I'm getting this in contents information in 2 different locations. One is output window, and at the same time, now this information will also be get saved into a data set. Now, can you see here? We have the information in the data set. All I want to do is I want to save this contents information in a data set. Then if you could able to save the information in a data set, now why should you have in the output window? That's very annoying. Every time when I execute the proc contents, I'm getting the information in the output window also. But this is, I do not want to have. I want to save the information in a data set. Now I could be able to save it. Now, if you want to save information in a data set, but if you do not want to if you do not want to display the information in a output window, you know what? Now we are going to write an option called no print. What is this no option? No print can do. No print option suppresses printing of that information in the output window. It will suppress printing of the contents information in the output window. So now to do that one, I am writing proc contents data is equal to work dot emp. Out is equal to, I want to save this information at temp1 dataset, but I do not want to have any print. Now I'm going to specify no print. Now this no print option will suppress printing of this information in the dataset. Now I'm selecting this program. I'm executing this program. Now, the error that we have? Yeah. Now I'm selecting this program. Rock contents. Data is equal to work data emp. Out is equal to temp1. Now, can you see? I have a temp1 data set here. Now, the information has been saved into temp1, but it is not giving any print in the output one because we specified no print option. Understand this one?
Sir, what if work.emp and out is equals also emp?
It is going to overwrite it. You are going to lose your data set, right? Now, if I open the temp1, what information you can find in the temp1 dataset? We are going to have lots and lots of information. Now we'll see what is this information. Now I'll go to the view and I will go to click on the column names. Now, can you see what we have first? Library. So now, do you know where we have the EMP dataset? We have EMP dataset in the work library. That's for the library name we are getting the work library. By the way, you know why I'm getting 6 observation? I'm getting 1 observation for each variable of EMP dataset. Since in the EMP dataset we have 6 variables, I'm getting 6 observation. And mem name, which means what the dataset name, EMP. Mem label, which means the dataset label, which is employee salary report. And then type member, we do not require that one. We have a name of the variable. Age, EMP ID, location, name, salary, and sex. Can you see what is the order of the variables I'm getting? I'm getting the variables in alphabetical order. Actually, in the dataset, we have EMP ID first, then name. But here I'm getting age first because we are getting these variables in alphabetical order. Then type. So the type is, if it is a numerical variable, the type is 1. If it is a character variable, the type is 2. And then we have a length. You know that for all the numerical variables, we specified the length 8. For the name, we have given 7. For the sex, we have given 6. For the location, we have given 3. Variable number, here we have variables in alphabetical order, but what is the creation order? We have age in 3rd position, ID number 1st position, location 6th position, 2 name, 5 salary, and 4 sex. Then we have labels of each variable. And you see, we have labels for each variable. And then after that, we have a format. Can you see? Whatever the format that we applied, here we have. But we have only the format name, but here we have the format length. Do you remember? Z, we have given Z3 dot. For the dollar, we have given 10.2. So the width is 10. The length is 10. So if you have any decimals for the format, remember, we have applied 10.2. So we have 2 decimals for, salary variable. And then in format, we haven't used any informate. We didn't use it, so no informate, so no informate length, no informate just decimals. Justification, all the numerical variables are going to be justification 0, character variables justification is 1. And then we are going to have number in position in the back end. And number of observations, we have in each and every variable we have a 23 values. The number of observations are 23. Engine V9 because we are using 9.4 version. Creation date, modification date, deleted observations. We haven't deleted any observations, so 0 observations. And did you use any indexes? No, we haven't used any indexes. Mem type, it is a data set, so mem type is going to be data. And then we are going to have index count, protection. If you create any flags, did you compress it? Did you reuse it? And did you sorted it? Sorted by what variable? And we are going to have all this information. So this information we can find where we can find whatever the dataset that we have given out is equal to in the dataset, it will save all that information. So this is how we are going to document the metadata into a dataset. Now they are going to use this dataset to check, whether we have created this data set according to their specification or not. Understand this one?
మనం చెక్ చేసుకొని వాళ్ళకి సబ్మిట్ చేయొచ్చు సార్.
Yes. Before submitting, you are going to do cross-checking. Then you'll submit. I will tell you later how to check cross-check. In future classes, we are going to have certain procedures. By using the procedure, we are going to do self-validation. Okay?
ఓకే.
I am writing proc contents. Data is equal to EMP. Tell me for which data set I will get this contents information? EMP data set, right? Where you will get this information now? Where the information is going to get print?
Work library.
Result view.
Window.
In the output window or result viewer, right? But I told you, when I include in how many tables I will get?
3 tables.
3 tables. So first one is the data set summary. The second one is engine or host dependent information. Third one is alphabetical list of variables and attributes. But I want to have in creation order. So that means I want to have first EMP ID, then name, age, sex, salary, and location. If you want to have in a creation order, now what we are going to do, we are going to write an option called position. What is that option? Position. What this position will do? Now see, I am writing proc contains data is equal data set name. Now I am writing position. After writing the position, I am executing the program again. Now we have 4 tables. The first one is data set summary. The second one is engine or host dependent information. And third one is alphabetical list of variables and attributes. Can you see what we have in the 4th table? Now,
Creation.
variables in a creation. So now we are getting the 4th table. In the 4th table, we have variables in the creation order. So in these 2 tables, we are going to have the same information, but the order of the variables are different. Here we have alphabetical list. Here what we have now, variables in creation order. Why we should have both is confusing. I want to have only creation order. I do not want to have this alphabetical list because both are same, but I want to have in a creation order. Now, if you want to have only in creation order, not in alphabetical order, now what we are going to do, we are going to use one more option called varnum. What this varnum can do, it prints the variables in creation order. Now see what I'm going to do. Now I'm writing proc contents. Data is equal to data set name. Now I'm writing, say for example, varnum. Now select the program and execute the program. Select the program and execute the program. Now, can you see now I'm getting only 3 tables. The first table is always data set summary. The second one is engine or host dependent information. Now, can you see what the third table I'm having now? Variables in creation order. We do not have a alphabetical list now. So if you want to have only in the creation order, what is the option you should write now? You should write an option called varnum. Variable num. In the creation order. And the next one is in the real time. When you're writing a program, sometimes you need to get the variables from the data set. And getting the variables from the data set is going to be very painstaking. So it will take a lot of time. చూడండి, నేను sasl.heart గుర్తుందని ఐడియా ఉందని మీకు? ఈ sasl.heart అండ్ డేటా సెట్ లో 16 వేరియబుల్స్ ఉంటాయండి. ఇప్పుడు నేను 16 వేరియబుల్స్ కి లేబుల్స్ ఇద్దాం అనుకుంటున్నాను. మరి లేబుల్ ఇవ్వాలంటే నేను ఏం చేయాలండి ఇప్పుడు? హౌ టు రైట్ ఏ లేబుల్ బై ద వే? Data. I'm creating a data set called heart and set I'm writing from sasl.heart. Tell me if you want to give the labels for all the variables, what is the statement I should write? I'll write the label statement. Every time you name the ఇప్పుడు variable name is equal to the label. But where we have the variable names? If you want to get the variables, what you should do? You should go to sasl library, isn't it? You should go to sasl library. So go to SAS help library. SAS help library. In the SAS help library, you should go to hot dataset, open the dataset, open the first variable, get the copy the variable name, and then write the label. You should do in this way for all the 16 variables. It is going to be a lot of time-taking process. What we should do? Now, if I have all the variable names ready-made available, so that is going to be very easy for me to write the labels or whatever the thing I want to, I can do. So I want to have the list of all the variables at one place. Now, if you want to have the list of all the variables, now I'm writing like this one. Proc contains data is equal to SAS help.hot. Now I'm writing in an option called short. What the short option will do? Short option will print the short list of all the variables of the dataset in output window. Now, can you see? Now, these are the variables that we have in the SAS help.hot dataset. But can you see how we are getting this short list? We are getting
Alphabetical list.
we are getting an alphabetical list. But I want to have both alphabetical list and I want to have creation also. If you want to have a creation order, what you should do? You should write position. If I write a short position, now I'm going to have a two list. One is a creation order, one is an alphabetical order, and second one is variables in creation order. Both are same, but only the order is different. Now, if you want to have only this one, I do not require alphabetical order. If you want to have only creation order, then what we should do? Now I'm going to write the proc contains data is equal to SAS help.hot. Now I want to have only shortlist, but how I want to have? I want to have in the creation order. Now we should write a short and varnum. If you write short and varnum, now we are going to have a short list of only all the variables in the creation order. So now I will copy all these variables. Now I'll put all these variables in the comment section in the editor window, so that whenever I want to have the variables, now I can copy these variables directly from this location, and then it is going to be easy for me to apply the attributes like label, length, format, whatever I want to apply. It is going to be easy for me. Understand this one? So if you want to have a short, pardon?
Sir, then what is the difference between position and varnum, sir?
Position is going to both in creation order and alphabetical list. Okay. See, if I read the short position, you will get two lists. But if you want to have only creation order,
then we should write varnum. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir, can't you write position and varnum at a time, sir?
why you require? You don't require, right? When you have a varnum, why you want to have a again position? Clear, everybody?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, if I write like this one, tell me what will happen? Proc contains semicolon run. ఏమవుతుందండి ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేస్తే?
The data set.
Dataset contents will be displayed.
Which data set?
This data set.
Recently created data set of which library?
Art, sir.
Work library.
Work library. But if I write a data is equal to EMP, tell me what will happen now?
The data set from content,
Only EMP data
contents
set.
of EMP.
But now I want to have all the data sets of a library. Contains information for all the data sets of a library. If you want to have a contents information for all the data sets of all the files of a library, now you should write the library name dot underscore all underscore. If you write SAS help dot underscore all underscore, what will happen now? What and all the files that we have in SAS help library for all the SAS files, you will get the contents information. Now it will take some time because we have so many files in the SAS help. Now can you see? Can you see? We are going to have huge information. So now we are going to have content information of all the files in the SAS help library. Clear? But in the SAS help library, I want to have only for the data sets, not for catalogs and view files. Only for the data sets. If you want to have only data sets, what we should write now? We should write mem type is equal to data. So now, what do you make underscore or underscore now? Which means all the data sets. But if you want to have for only catalogs, what you should do? You should mem type is equal to
The catalog.
only for the catalogs. But if you want to have for only for view files, you should have mem type is equal to view.
Is equal
Now,
to view.
this information only for view files. Understand this one? Now, when I execute this program, like proc contents data is equal to SAS help dot underscore all underscore. What will happen? For each file, you will get 3 tables. Remember, I told you first one is dataset summary, second one is engine or host dependent information, third one is
creation order.
alphabetical list of variables and attributes. So you're going to have three tables for each SAS file. Now I do not want to have that individual information. I want to have only overall list. I want to have just list of all the files. If you want to have only the list, now we are going to use an option called no DS, which means no individual descriptions. No descriptions. Just give the list of all the files of a library. Now see, after writing NODS option, I'm selecting this program, executing the program. Now, can you see what we have now? You are going to have just a list of all the files of SAS help library. Now, can you see? These are things. We have data sets, indexes, catalogs, and yes, of course, we are going to have a view files also. Now, can you see what I have? I have just a list, not about individual information. We have total 394 files in the help library. And by the way, indexes and datasets are same. That's why you will not have another number for index. Clear this one?
Sir,
Yes.
node full form చెప్పండి. Nodes full form, sir.
Not NODS. No descriptions. No descriptions. Clear so far? Everybody?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Next one is, you guys have completed ProcSQL classes? Everybody?
No, sir.
No.
Done?
No, sir.
If you done the ProcSQL, you might have discussed about, you might have known about indexes, how to create an index. Did you see how to create index? Did you learn how to create index there? Simple index and composite index. Done or not? So,
No, sir.
SQL అయిపోయిన తర్వాత ఇండెక్సెస్ ఎందుకు అయిపోయి ఉంటాయి అండ్ వ్యూస్ ఇండెక్సెస్ అయిపోయి ఉంటాయి. Okay, how to create index? We can create index in SQL and we can also create indexes in bases also. You can create indexes in ProcSQL. అంటే SAS లోపల కనుక SQL రాయాలనుకోండి, మీరు ఎలా స్టార్ట్ చేస్తారంటే this is how we are going to write ProcSQL. Now see what I'm writing? Now I'm writing create index and I want to create index called, say for example, name create index name, I want to create this index by variable on, say, for example, EMP dataset. In the EMP dataset, I want to create an index for name variable. Now I'm writing like this one. Indexes are two types. The first one is called as a simple index. You know what you mean by simple index? If you create an index, for one variable, we call it as a simple index. If you create an index for only one variable, we call it as a simple index. Here I'm creating an index for name variable of EMP dataset. And what index I'm creating? I'm creating a name. And remember one thing, when you're creating a simple index, the variable name and index name should be the same. Variable name and index name must be the same. Now say, if I select the program, execute the program, if I go to the log window, now you can see in the log window, can you see what we have here? Simple index name has been defined. So I created a simple index called a name for the name variable of EMP dataset. And what is this index? Why we should create this index? Indexes are going to help you when you're retrieving the data. By using that index, so we can retrieve the data very fast. నేను ఒక సింపుల్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చెప్తాను చూడండి. యూ హ్యావ్ ఎ వెల్, బావి అంటాం తెలుసండి మీకు అది వెల్. కెన్ అండర్స్టాండ్ మై వర్డ్ వెల్?
Yes, sir.
So I want to get the water from this well in a manual manner. So I have a long rope and a bucket. So if you want to get the water manually, what I should do, I should tie that rope to that bucket and I should put that bucket into the water of that well. And again, I should pull that one, right? Now, if I arrange a motor to get the water from the well, which one is going to get fast?
Motor.
Obviously motor, right? When you assemble a motor, when you have a motor, and you're going to get the water very fast. In the same way, when we have a simple data set and when we have a data set with index, getting the data or retrieving the data from the data set with index is going to be very fast when you compare with a normal data set. So to pick the data very efficiently, very fast manner, we use indexes. I hope everybody got this general example. And during the Proc SQL classes, I will explain about indexes in depth. But this is so far we can understand it. Now, when we have an index, if you want to know indexes information, now see, we use a procedure called proc contains. Proc contains data is equal to data set name, which is EMP, now semicolon run. Now, previously, when I did the proc contains procedure for EMP dataset, I got only 3 tables. Now I'm going to have the 4th table. Can you see what we have the 4th table? Alphabetical list of indexes and attributes. Now, can you see what index I created? Name. And for which variable I created? I created this for name variable. In the name variable, can you see how many values we have? Actually, we have 23 values. Out of 23, 6 names are repetitions. So that's why it created index for like 17 values of name variable. So if you want to see the detailed information of this index, now in the proc contains procedure, we are going to use an option called centiles. What is the option we use? Centiles. Now the centiles option prints indexes information in detail in the output window. Now can you see, previously we got the 3 tables. Now we got the 4th table. Now we have a detailed information about the simple index. Name, we have 17 values. What are the 17 values that we have? It will show all the 17 values. Now I want to create a composite index. You know what you mean by composite index? If we create index for more than one variable of a data set, we call it as a composite index. When creating a composite index, you can have different names for index name and the variable names. So for example, this time I'm writing index XYZ on the data set name, which is temp. For which variables you want to create? I want to create for all the 5 variables, 6 variables, which is employee ID, comma name, comma age, comma sex, comma salary, and comma location. Comma location, LOC. Now close the parenthesis, keep a semicolon. Now this is called composite index because I'm creating index for more than one variable. Now say if I select the program, execute it, go to the log window. Now in the log window, what is that problem? Don't we have data space? Sorry, EMP. Now select the program, execute the program. Now go to the log window. Now can you see what we have here? Composite index XYZ has been defined. Here I'm getting error because already we have a name index. So since I executed the program second time, it is showing that error. That is fine. But now we created a composite index. Now I'm writing again proc contents procedure now. If I execute the program, now it will show the composite index for XYZ also. Now we created this index for all the 6 variables, and this is how it has been created. So if you want to see indexes information, what is the option that we should write in proc contents procedure? We should write an option called sentence.
Sentence.
And this is about proc contents procedure. And finally, how to calculate size of a data set. To calculate size of a data set, we have a formula. So the size of a data set is equal to, okay, 256 plus data set page size into number of pages. This is the formula to calculate, okay, to calculate size of a data set. This is the formula that we have. Now, how to get this one? If you run proc contents procedure, now see, I'm writing proc contents, data is equal to SAS help dot class. Now write the run statement. If I execute this program, I told you by default you'll get 3 tables. And if you go to the center table, now we can find the information saying that, can you see what the size of the data set? 65,536. And how many pages that we have? Number of data set pages? 1. Then I want to put that information in a formula. Data, I want to have a class size. Class size. Now size is equal to 256 is a constant value plus data set page size. What is the page size of a data set? 65,500 and can you see what is this data set page size? 536 into how many pages that we have? This is the formula. If I execute this program, now I'm going to have size of SAS class. Now, can you see what this data set page size now? SAS class size is 65,792 bytes. But I want to have this in kilobytes, KB. How many kilobytes? So how many bytes is equal to 1 kilobyte? Anybody?
1000 bytes into 1 kilo.
1024. 1024 bytes is equal to 1 kilobyte. Now, if I execute this program, now can you see this is the size of this is 6 and SAS data size is 64.25 KB. But if you want to have a MB, again, what is 1 MB? 1024 KB is equal to
1024. 1 MB.
Now you will get the size of the data set in MB, which is 0.062. This is how we can calculate size of any data set. What is the formula for size? Size is equal to 256 plus number of pages into page size, or page size into number of pages. You can get the number of pages and page size when I write the proc contents, automatically you get that information. So now you need to put that information in the formula so that you get to, by default, you will get a number of bytes. By dividing that into 1024, you can convert that into kilobytes, KB. or MB. Or again, by dividing that with 1024, you can convert that into GB. Clear this one? And this is about a proc contents procedure. Clear, everybody? Okay, then. See you in tomorrow's class with another procedure. Okay?
Thank you, sir.